Today, we are visiting El Pinacate in the Mexican state of Sonora. This is about halfway between the Arizona Lukeville border and Puerto Penasco. We visited this place last year and it was so beautiful. We absolutely wanted to come back again.
So we pull into the park, we meet the same ranger that we met last year, and he tells us there's two situations in the park. And we're like, okay, what are these situations? So the first one he tells us is the road condition is very, very poor. And we're like, well, we have a truck, is it okay? And he said, oh yeah, four-wheel drive is fine. And we're like, okay, what's the next situation? And he's like, the next situation is the cartels are fighting a turf war in the park.
We are Kyle and Nicole, avid travelers from Michigan. In 2021, Kyle quit his job and we have been traveling across North America in our travel trailer while I continue to work full-time from the road. We love to create content showing amazing destinations, things to do, free camping spots, and RV life. We hope you will like, subscribe, and comment on our videos and join us for these fantastic adventures. You never know where we will pop up next.
So we pull into the park, we meet the same ranger that we met last year, and he tells us there's two situations in the park. And we're like, okay, what are these situations? So the first one he tells us is the road condition is very, very poor. And we're like, well, we have a truck, is it okay? And he said, oh yeah, four-wheel drive is fine. And we're like, okay, what's the next situation? And he's like, the next situation is the cartels are fighting a turf war in the park. He literally is telling us that there's people being murdered and killed inside the reserve. And he's like, we don't even go in there. And I'm just thinking, why didn't you lead off with that? Why are you worried about the road condition? I'm not going in there. If he doesn't even go in there, there's no way I'm going in there. And so it's just kind of comical to hear him be like, oh, there's two situations. It's like, no, there's one situation and we're not going into that part of the park. So we decided not to go in. And so we went to the sand dunes instead.
There are two parts to Pinacate, the craters and the dunes, and since the craters wasn't an option, we decided to head down the road and check out the dunes. It is a 5-kilometer round-trip walk out to the dunes and it was very hot, about 90 degrees with no shade. You walk through patches of sand and lava, but the best part of the hike was the lizards. There are so many and really funny ones too. My favorite was the zebra-tailed lizard. They have a black and white striped tail, really long legs, and they can run an average of 23 feet per second. They are fast.
There is a diamondback rattlesnake in this bush that we just walked past, and he started hissing at us.
That was a rattle.
That was a rattle. Scariest thing. Carl and I both took off. I almost peed a little. Totally did not see it. He doesn't look super big.
No, a couple feet long from head to tail.
Wow, super scary.
Yeah. It's the first time we've been rattled at.
Yeah. I'm hot.
After the dunes, we went into the museum and then hiked 2 nature trails that were behind the building. These trails take you across old lava flows, and of course, there are lots of other cool lizards like the chuckwalla.
We really loved our time in the sand dunes. It was really surprising. The sand dunes were closed last year, so it worked out kind of nicely that we were unable to go to the craters and see the sand dunes. We enjoyed our time there. Seeing all the lizards was fun. It wasn't very busy. One thing though, it was only springtime and it was already hot. They had warned us about rattlesnakes, but they said that there weren't going to be many today, that it had cooled down. But the one we saw sure scared us, and it's a pretty terrifying experience to see one on the trail in the bush when you can't even see it. It was definitely a unique experience for us, one I don't need to repeat, but still a fun day. Walking across the sand dunes and the lava field was a lot of fun. If you're ever in the area, I would definitely go. It was pretty inexpensive. The visitor center is nice. The little nature trails there are fun, pretty informative. It's a really cool area. I would definitely go back.